Hello and welcome back to Tron Sports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video for the second part of the build of the Southern Marshalling Yard, which hopefully should be finished in today's video. Now, last time out, I did obviously start building this yard, but you will notice that things look a little different from what they did at the end of the last video. Because I have been making some changes, I have been making a number of adjustments, of which I will show you them in a little bit more detail after the intro. In this video, the plan is to get this marshalling yard up and running, not just the connection to Sudbury and over to Taunton, the way I currently have, but also getting the detailing finished in that area and getting the route connected up. Sorry, not Sudbury, Kingsbridge, getting the route connected up to Sudbury and Shepshed and that area, and on this north side that you see, which is the closest side to you from this camera, getting that sorted out, and that is probably going to be the biggest problem. So make sure you stay tuned, let's get started, and I have read the comments that were left on the last video, so thank you very much to those of you who left the comments. I am going to try and do that. The roundabout idea was great. I've actually gone ahead and attempted that. It took a little bit of time, so I did it off camera to build the roundabout in the way I wanted it to be. Also, the idea of the passing loop on the south side with the Sudbury line, I have an idea. If I understand what you were saying correctly, so if I understood what you meant, that's a really good idea. I am going to try and pull that off. I'm sure it was a good idea in your head anyway. And also, the idea of the Great Western Signals. I think I have used them in a couple of places, but I will do my best to perhaps get them running also in this particular marshalling yard, or at least on the approach to it. So, make sure you stay tuned. Let's get started. Okay, so this is my attempt at the roundabout. It isn't great. It isn't the best roundabout, and it is also two-way, but it is a roundabout. So that could potentially be quite useful. I have not yet connected all of these bits. I have an idea of how this is going to work. The plan is to have this as a tiny bridge, level crossing, tiny bridge, continue up, and then it lifts up and goes over there. That is the plan. This train would not be running along this anymore. The way it would go, it would probably peel in and go through here. That would be where it goes. Once I get all of this running, you will see where those trains go. Now, on this side, what I have gone ahead and done, this is the bit that's a little bit wobbly, I would say, but I'm trying to get this in such a manner that I can access all of these. Well, actually, I'm not sure I can access this one. These ones cannot be accessed by these tracks, but since these tracks are going to be going in that direction, I should be able to make something of them. Hopefully, I should be able to connect up these tracks to these tracks, so it shouldn't be much of an issue. It is slightly lower than I would want it to be. I'm actually looking at. I'm considering something. Might as well get on with it. I'm going to see if I can lift this. Just how far does this go? There to there. So if I can lift this just a single meter. Right, stop protecting that. Okay, stop protecting that. There we go, that is better. Yes, that looks better to me. Now what I'm going to do is, for now, I'm just going to D15, no. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect these up. Like so. Oh, what? Why was that a problem? Okay, so apparently there could be some issues here. I'm just going to see what the issues are. Ah, I see why this was where it was. I need to... So I've made a few mistakes here. I clearly need to... Let's see. I'm going to break this back. This bit is going to have to be flat. Okay. Time to break this all back and see if I can figure this one out. Hopefully this doesn't cause me too many problems. So all of this that I've created must remain flat at all times. So let's get that roughly pointing in the right direction. In fact, no, why do I need it roughly pointing in the right direction? I can get it right up to it. There we are. And have that stay flat. Okay, good. That looks correct. Okay, so 1 and 2, you are... What's on earth? I'm having some really strange issues at the moment with Transport Fever 2, where things just do not pan out properly. Now, you'll note that there is clearly an elevation difference, but I'm going to work on that in a moment. Now, oh, it wasn't that one connected to. I just realised that was wrong. Whoops. That's fine. You hook into there. You hooks into there. There was then that went. So I could bring this back and do that, but I think whilst I'm fixing this, let's try and do this in a slightly better manner. And the best option here for me is to see where does this go straight across. And obviously this is all going to stay flat too. Goes across there. So, oh no, wait, this one doesn't need to. Never mind. That was a mistake. It's this one going straight across. Stay flat. That should be perfectly flat the entire way through. Then what I need to do is work out how to connect this up like that. Now that is not ideal. Could I do that? No, that is not ideal. So this is where the issue comes in, because I cannot do that. I could potentially have one from quite a distance. Do that. That might allow me to have... No, see, immediately we run into issues. So what I'm going to have to do is not take that one. Instead, I'm going to have to work out this bit here. That looks decent. That does look decent. And then I'm going to see if this goes straight across. Oh, it's just too close. Slightly too close. Okay. I have more options. Okay, I have more options. I can pull this one across here. There we go. Let's do that. I will get rid of this little mess I've created, run this one across here. Up to... I'm not sure why these things are no longer snapping. That doesn't make sense. Why won't you snap? Break that. This one here can do this to. Potentially I could do this too. No. That was wishful thinking. Also, whilst I'm doing this, I should probably get this one in. There we go. So that has an option of 4. That has 2. In fact, this could work really nicely. This could work out really, really nicely if I do this. If I connect this up properly. No, come on. There. That actually looks so much better. That looks so much better than my original, what I was doing originally. Okay, now what I need to do is get rid of this bit and do a break of the track about here. No, that wasn't a break. Do a break of the track about there. Break that. Do a break. No, break that one. Connect this up just to there. And then from there, have the downhill bit. There. How does that look? That actually works. That works for me that's pretty reasonable. And in fact, I've just had an even better idea. Okay, I've had an even better idea, but I'm not sure if it is strictly necessary because I've already got this one. But if I wanted to, I could... Oh no, it could be necessary because these two go into there. If I wanted something to go into Kingsbridge Exchange... Okay, another idea. Let's go ahead and push this back. I'm going to push these bits back. I'll leave... So I need this one. Let's move this up to here. Let's move this up to here. Let's do that connection there and that connection there. Little tight, but that's terrible. That and that. And let's do that and that. Why did I do that? That was not what I meant to do. Let's do that. That is what I meant to do. And that. There we are. Now that looks pretty good. That does look pretty good. Also, we should have... So, right. Let's figure this out. In fact, I'll figure out the crossings afterwards. That looks much better than what it did. Now, before I continue with this connection here, I doubt this is moving, or this is changing, so let's go ahead and finish the detailing up in this bit. So, paint tool, let's get rid of things. That's going to take a while. Let's get rid of it by doing this and then fill in the other bits once we're done. There. That's cleared that bit out. That's cleared that bit out. Let's have a look. Anywhere else we need to clear things out? No, that looks okay. That looks okay. Autosave at the most inopportune moment. No. This bit here is all looking pretty fine. This is definitely the most complicated setup I have ever done for anything. Could I have swung that further out? No, I could not have, because that bridge was going down. Okay, fine. So that goes there, that goes there. Let's go ahead, and now I get to use the hedge asset. So, hedge, capitals? Why capitals? No, that's not what I meant to do. Hedge. Right. Let's put it in, let's put the first bit in here. I'm not going to bring it all the way to the edge of the rail. I'm going to do this. I'm going to see if I can somehow follow the curve. Which I'm supposed to, I do wonder what the arc button does. Now I just have to be very careful, because if I start removing things here, so if I start removing assets, it will remove this as well. So just something I must be wary of. And then over here, up to there. Nope, line. And then the curve. I think these bits are really, really important to do. It's just that little bit of detail. When Transport Fever 3 comes around, I'm definitely going to be spending a lot of time doing this detailing as soon as this is available. Although, again, first series probably will not do that. It will be second series or something that I end up doing that. Does that look right? Yes, it does. Why is that so high up? Why can I see through it? How has that ended up the way it is? It's fine. It's fine. There are limitations. So we just have to work with the limitations. I'm wondering if I should paint this a different colour. Instead of having this grass here, maybe I should paint it in something else. Right, that all looks fine. And I've got this bit to do. So I'll go ahead and do this bit now as well. Let's get this curving around. Like so. And then I suppose this bit's just a straight line. Yeah, I'll just do a straight line up to here. A little bit further, perhaps just a touch further. And this is going to be a great junction to watch trains from. I can envisage doing this at what, 85 mil. Oh, that's not what I meant to press. Well, I've done something. Envisage this at 85, 55. There's going to be a better way. It's going to be difficult, actually. Now looking at it, it's such a big junction. It's probably going to be quite difficult to figure out where to set the camera. Right, let's go ahead and finish all these bits off, though. So we'll do a curve from here. Like so. That's one. And then this bit is going to be slightly interesting, but we'll try it anyway. Curve, please. What does the arc one do? The arc one does create... I just don't know how to tighten the arc, that's all. If I could tighten the arc on that, I would probably use that one. But I have no idea how to do that. There we are. That's one, that's one. I'll tell you what, this is what I'll do. I'll get rid of this. I'll get rid of this. And then I'm going to go, no, that's wrong. I'm going to go like that. That changes the shape of those farms and this farm. Probably going to bring this down like that. There we are. Okay, good. So that is that side done. Yep, that works. Speed limits might need to go in. Those little things will have to happen. I might do... Oh, I should have done perhaps the tiniest amount of smoothing here. See if I can get this to work without causing issues. Smooth, smooth. Actually, that sort of works. There. This gives it a bit more. And then on this side, I do need to do that. So I'm just going to make sure that this side's done. So we've got some smoothing and then just increase that brush. There. The tunnel just looks just that little bit better once you do that. Good. Doesn't look great, but better. Yes, better. Not great, but better. So that is all completed. This side, this roundabout is, yeah, two-way roundabout. It's going to be a problem though. I think getting these across, so I'll have to figure something out in a moment. For now, let's go ahead and focus on this connection because I think I can do this. I could, in theory, potentially connect up another 500 meter one of these. Oh, that's an idea. I could make this smaller by... So I could turn this one just into 4-track. I could turn this into 4-track. And then what? That's the next question. If I turn that into 4-track, what happens then? Not sure. Sure what I have forgotten though, or what needs to be done. This. That needs to be on here. Come on. I know you can do it. There it is. Just in case. So if I made this 4-track, I could then have a bit of a gap and have another line over here. Never mind. I'll work on that later. Let's get this bit done. So if I understood the suggestion correctly, the passing loop that I know of is this one here. This is the passing loop. So I have one passing loop here, and the next passing loop is much further down on the other side. I assume the suggestion was to get this passing loop to continue all the way down up to the point of this split and have the freight trains going along there. If so, sounds like a good idea. Let's get it done. If not, I'm not entirely certain what you meant. So let's... Well, first off, I need to see if I can put a bridge on this. And then I need to figure out whether I want the inside or the outside for the express train. Because what I could do... Oh, that could be interesting. No, I cannot do that. If I have... So my idea was, if I have the inside for the express train, this happens. But then... Sorry, if I have the outside for the express train, I can run this all the way along here, an express train, and then it goes in there. That train runs all the way along there, along this side, and that's great. However, what would that mean for going into... We'd have to make a bridge here and a second bridge, which wouldn't work. I do not think that would work. So let me try, as an attempt, let's try and do this. So this is my pretend pass loop. So it's continued along here. We have a pass loop. This loop could continue all the way. I'm then going to get this train out of the way and then pause. Let's say this connects up like this. I'll then pause. There's apparently another train coming in, so that doesn't really matter. This then peels off and begins a climb. So we'll do that. Run it along here. Now somehow I've got to make this climb. There we go. That is what I wanted. So that climbs. I'll sort out the bridge in a moment. That then goes around at a level, yep, fairly level, maybe quite wide. In fact, maybe like that. Up to what? Up to there. At which point it starts coming back down at a very shallow... Now you see, that's a problem. That there is quite a problem, because I'm not going to... That is going to be a very steep incline. If you look at that, it's still very high up, even though it's been coming down that entire time. So that isn't going to work unless if I were to click this and say make bridge pillar collision. Great. Of course. You. This could be interesting. This could be a very interesting design. Now, if I were to do that, I know this isn't the best of ideas, and I'm not saying that this is going to definitely work. Then click that. Down 2 meters. I then go from, let's say, from marker point here to here. Sorry, that was wrong. Here to here. Ramp equalize. Down we go. We still have room. Not a lot of room, but we do still have room. Marker. Another 2 meters down, please. Ramp equalize once again from there to there. We still have room. Bring it down another... What would I bring that down? Another meter? Yes, I think we could bring that down another meter. Okay, try again. One more time, please. This time just a single meter. If this isn't finished, by the way, in this video, I will be finishing it off camera. I'm trying not to keep these videos too long because, well, they take a long time to make, and then they take a while to render, and I do not have all too much time to spend in one go. That is why episode 200 took such a long time. So I'll do that, and then I assume the next one would be, so we have a passing loop again. Let's say we'll do this again. And from there to there, we've made the same sort of thing, and then this one would actually go this way at ground level. And that would connect up to that. Now, let me see how this would be if it needed to come back down. It isn't the worst. It really is not the worst. At that point, I could manage that. Yes, I think at that point that can be managed, just about. It still isn't ideal, though. There's got to be a better way of doing this. These are a little bit lower. This bit here is a little bit lower. Maybe I can start dropping the bridge a little early. If that is the case, if I am indeed using this bridge, what other options do I have? I have this. That's a no-go, because the signals get covered. The train does not make it through. That's a no. I'm going to say that is a no. These look a lot more normal. Oh, normal? Not fancy. That is definitely a no. Let's go through every bridge. Every potential bridge. That's a no. That is a no. That's a no. That's an internal error, so let's not touch any of those with the X on it. That is a no. That's an obvious no. Although I can see where I could use that. I know where to use this. That is a no. That is a no. This one. Oh, it's almost a go. It is almost a go. I could get one there, push that pillar a little, get a wide one across here. That could be a go. That is a no. Let's see. Can I make this bigger? No. Again, an almost go. That's another almost go. A box girder bridge. That could... It works perfectly there. This is the problem. It's this bit here that is the problem. If I can somehow figure this bit out, then we will be fine. This one almost just works. That is too low. This one does have the right height. Yes, this one just works. And I could try and place one of those pillars diagonally across there just to make it look a little better, and then another one just here to try and make it look supported. Out of curiosity, I'm going to place that one in, and I'm just going to see if it is possible for me to do that. So wall. It's not that, although why did I not think of this? I have options that I could try to build. This is the one I want, right? Let's have a look. Which wall is it? In that case, it's just that one. I can probably find a better wall. That's a better wall. That's not right. Object strength. What? Oh, right. I see. Got it. So, object height, object strength, height from ground, offset. So if I were to try and do that, would that sort of do what I wanted to do? No, I don't want it there. Oh no, wait a minute. I can have it there, and I can say 4-meter wall, 6-meter wall. Pass it. Wait a minute, what is this? What on earth is this? Why have I never... Right, okay. Well, clearly I've not been paying attention. That can go down there. Offset. -1, +1. Why is that not going on? No. I want object height, 100%. Track spacing, height from ground. No, it still isn't. It's not great. That's no good. I know what I want it to do, but it isn't enough. Okay, that's fine. I can always just pop this in like this, and let's just start by placing this in. No, it doesn't even look right. Can I make it even bigger? I can. And can I try to... There's always a limit to what you can and cannot do in a game, and I think I'm getting to that limit. It does look supported. If I place that in the right spot, that does look supported. I just need a really good angle on this. So it needs to be there, and there, maybe. Check it from the other side. Oh, it sticks out. Okay, well, that's fine, because I can probably work it out from that and say object strength. No, object strength is fine. 2 meters. That's better. Okay, try this. Let's try this one. Down. No, that's not right. Down we go. About there. All of this just to put this in. Just to give this what would appear to be realistic support. Where's the track bed is the question. I'm going to make a guess about there. And hopefully it looks okay on the opposite side. It does. It does. And it doesn't stick out the top. Okay, so we've got one piece of brick there. I would then potentially put a second piece of brick here. Same sort of design, same sort of angle. Really low, not that, about there. Place that in there. Okay, this is starting to look supported. Next brick goes in here. This is where things get a little awkward. I don't know why I'm doing this, because I've not even said that I'm going to keep this particular design. But there we go. This one needs to go right there. Perfect. It looks like a supported bridge. Now what would happen? What would happen if I changed this bridge to this one? Does it still look supported? It does. It does, and it looks pretty well supported, if I do say so myself. Okay, how much lower can this... If I were to bring this down further, how much further can I bring this down? It's tight. It could be another meter. I can bring it down. Of course, that's going to mean I have to replace all of those. But I can... So this is what I'm going to do. This is where it seems to flatten out. But I'm going to go back to this. I know what this wall piece is. I'm going to go back to this and try one more time. You, drop down another meter. You, from here to here. No, not there. There. How are you looking? Bit better. Nothing sticking out there. Nothing sticking out there. Blast. But still, it's doable. It's happening. Trains can to and fro. Any lower? Can I risk these signals? Full-size signal. How does it... No, I do not want to put that any lower than that. That is the absolute lowest I want this to go. Okay. Right. Then what I need to do is get rid of this. This is not going to happen in this episode, is it? I said that I wanted to get this finished, but clearly this is not it. That was the one. Look how perfect that is. Once you got the right, once you have the right one, it just works. Now I just have to figure out again how to place it. Can I put it a little bit higher up? I think I can. About there. There. Put that there. How does that look? Pretty reasonable. Good. So we have one there, one there, one there, one, none here, but I could probably place one right here. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this bit and see if I can neaten this up with... Well, first I could potentially put an embankment here if I really wanted to. But I saw that... Where was it? That. Oh, that's even better. Is there anything even better than that? Oh dear. Is there anything better than that I can use? Let's find out, shall we? That kind of gives it a well-supported look. In fact, with that, I could... Oh, do I want to risk this? Do I want to risk pushing this one slightly too far? No. No, I'm not going to do that. This, not that. This one. What's the difference between this one and this one? Ah, that has railings, that has a nice... I've forgotten what that pattern's called. Fence. How have I forgotten what that grating pattern is called? I think that works. Okay. I'm hoping this is what you meant, by the way, to the person who was talking about this. Now, this is where things get interesting on this side. So let's do this. Let's break these two apart. And let's immediately start running track upwards from here. So we'll run the track upwards, not too awkwardly, but there we go. That now runs upwards. Now we have these two. What I could do is I can have this stay flat now. I can have this go up to here. Hang on. I'm going to get to it in a moment. Let's just do this and then see what... Because what I could do is push this back 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll have crossings, and so we'll do, let's see, cross over there, cross over there. So that gives us 1, 2, cross over here, cross over here, cross over here. That's another 1, 2. Why is that not going to that? Can you not? Okay, fine. Are those necessary? I don't... No, those are not necessary. Hang on. Change of plans. Cross over here. Come on. There we go. As tight as it can be. Cross over there. Okay. You. No. Where does it start? There. Okay. I know what I want. Because I want this to do this. That is what I'm after. Because that would just work. I could do that and that. So where does that allow me to go? From here I can go... Come on. Stop being silly about it. There you go. So from here I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. There we go. From 4 I can go 1. From that I can go there. From that I can go there. From this one is where the problem occurs. Because I need this one to be able to get all the way across here. That is the one I need to get. Let's figure this out. Construction not possible. When have I ever had a construction not possible error like that? I've never seen that before. Well, I've broken it. That's for sure. Yep, I've clearly broken it. Try again. Maybe, I don't know. No. Okay. Rubbish. Those two cross there. That's fine. That's literally not what I wanted to do. Okay. Well, I guess we are going back to the crossover that I had planned. So that's going to be that and that, coupled with apparently something wonky. No, that, and no, and no. Anytime now, please. I really do not have all day. This. It worked a moment ago. Everybody saw it. There we go. All you have to do is just tell it off a bit. So that and that, that and that, that will cross into here. That will cross into here. That goes straight. This will never have to cross into that. So get rid of that bit. I'm working this out on the fly. No. This is going to break it, isn't it? No, it still works. Good. And this one is never going to have to do that. So we'll do that. Why is that 30? I thought it was 15 miles per hour. 15 miles. Okay. apparently it no longer wishes to give me a 15-mile-per-hour track. Now what I need to do is have just a little bit of flat, just this bit here, needs to be flat, long enough for me to have this crossing and this crossing. Okay, good. That is that bit done. What I now need to do is figure out how to connect this up. Yep, this is definitely not going to happen in today's episode. It's not going to be completed. Do that. I mean, that bit works. I'm okay with that. But what I would like to do is I'd like to peel this off in this direction so that it can join up with these. Yeah. So you go there, you go there. No. Beep. That's it. Do that. Okay. You now go here, and you go here. Will you fit? Oh, it does. It does just about. It works. It doesn't look... It's not the prettiest, but it does work. Can I... Oh, do I really want to attempt this? No. I've been through this already. I've managed to neaten this up. I've managed to neaten this bit up. If I were to mess this up any further, he says as he is going to potentially mess this up much further. But no. Come on. There we go. Did that work? Sort of, but why does it never... Or why does it no longer wish to connect? You go away. Just connect like this. What do you mean, too much curvature? Where is this curvature? What? The curvature of the... Where? Okay. Breathe. No, not that. No more too much. That cannot be too much curvature, so we are... Construction not possible. What? No, stop. There we go. Okay, so now we are in a much better position here. And now what we have to do is, let's see what this does. Let's just see what this bit... That is the connection it is asking me for, which I do not wish to take. But it does work. So I will break that, break this, and that should give me... Please. Give me a massive viaduct. It doesn't have to all be a viaduct, though. Because I could do this. Where's that wall? I can use this for part of it. Like, now that I've found this bit here, this is great. And what I can do is I can... Oh, apparently... Okay, well, I have two options. Or I could use this one. Which perhaps looks a little better. So I'll do this. Hang on. I'm going to do this. I'm then going to break it from here. Yep, I'm going to break this bit. And this bit is going to be viaduct. Sorry, not viaduct. Embankment. You know what? That looks reasonable. If I can somehow maybe get one of these walls in here... let's get this lined up really nicely. Oh, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. No, it isn't. How did I do that object strength thing? That, turn it that way, 4 meters. There we are. This could work. This could work. Come on. Have it so that this thing pops out. No, it's not showing it. Is that the right angle? Not exactly, but I can do it like that. There we are. Okay. So, size it has as 200%. Object strength is that I can make that much narrower. I wish I could make the width. Let me just see what happens if I pop this in like this. It doesn't look like the worst thing ever. So that's pretty high. Why did I not just change the object height? Why did I mess around with the size? I don't know. I have no idea why I did what I did. But unfortunately, I cannot make that size smaller. I need something that was 3 meters. That's what I need. It's fine. If I place this very carefully, like so, how does that look? It's not bad. It is not bad. And then I do a similar thing here. Like so, and lift it up just so it touches, which is what it's doing there. Try and make that at a right angle to the track, which it roughly is, like that, and then put that there. That could work. That could definitely work. It isn't perfect. I'll point that out. It is not perfect, but that is better than what I had, or what I currently have. I can see this being something I can use. And then for this bit, I'll just do this. So this goes along here. I can run this pretty much. I can run this pretty much like this, right? No, I'll just do that. And let's say it peels off from here. So I'll break that bit and that bit. Peel this through this angle there. And see if I can get this to connect. So break that, break that, break that, break that. And that just goes there like that. That seems doable, unless, okay, I have an even better idea. Why not tuck this in just that little bit tighter? Actually, tucking it in tighter. Okay, let me know. Do you think I should tuck this bit in tighter? Because I will fix that. I will fix that in the next episode, or before the next episode, if that is the case. So let me know about that. On the flip side, now this has already taken an entire episode, so I'm not going to get this bit. I think this is the best I'm going to be able to do. If I were to create more of these, what I'll end up doing is I'll end up doing something. I saw it. I know you wanted to do it. I saw the option. Do not take that option away from me. I know it's there. Where is it? There it is. So it would accept that. And what I would do is I'll do that and then do that, break that bit, and actually peel this out like that. And probably bend that in like that and put another one in there. So just to make sure that this actually, of course it doesn't work. Why would it? Why would that work? Okay, well, and now I have this. Nope, I do. Was that the right one? Yes. Can I get rid of? No, that one. That's one. There we go. Okay, I've managed to undo the mess. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt this roundabout bit on this side. If you think this is a good idea, please let me know. If you think this is a bad idea, also let me know. Because, well, as I said, this is all a work in progress. If you think this does not look realistic enough or something needs to change, tell me so that I can work on it. In fact, before I end this video, I'm not playing this intentionally because I've got 2 freight trains here. I want to take a picture with those freight trains. What if I used not that one? There is one. Where is it? That's too low. What if I use that one? I could. Okay, that looks more realistic for some reason. It just looks like something that would work a little bit better. I've also noticed that this bit here, which I'm going to now fix because I have to fix. I'm going to click. No, oh no. Turn around. There we go. Up to there. No, you turn around. Turn around. There we go. Up to there. That's wobbly. Fix it. There we go. That is a little better. Yep, that looks a little better. So if you think this is a better option, then do let me know. If you think the other one is a better option, then let me know. Either way, let me know. I'm going to take a picture just here. And I know this is Marshalling Yard Part 2, but I can probably call it Marshalling Yard Southern Approach because that is effectively all I've done in this entire video. So there we are. I will take that as a screenshot and look to end this video. So thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Leave a comment in the comments box below, letting me know what you think, any suggestions you might have. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. Link in the description box below, as are links to my social media and Discord server. That is all from me. Off camera, I will sort out the southern bit of this particular route, so I will get it connected up to the main line or this branch line properly, and I might put some of the detailing in. I might make some adjustments to this bridge if I need to, but really I'll wait for feedback. If you give me the feedback early enough, I'll probably do it before the next video anyway, and see what I can do. On the opposite side, I might try to work a little bit on part of the approach, so that in the next video I'm not spending the whole video just trying to build an approach, and I do get trains running. So there we go. So yes, that is all from me, and I shall see you next time in Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series, for hopefully this time the final part of the Southern Marshalling Yard build. I'll see you then.